present The Money Secret by John Fry with Jeff Bainham and Annabel Spinks-Jones.
Now, noble senators of Rome and such like, we're going to shake things up a bit around here. From here on, we're going to have debt-free money. Cassius, would you sit down for a moment? I'm speaking to the Senate. Now, without borrowing that money, we shall have aqueducts, temples, housing, maybe even a couple of additional colosseums, as they seem to be doing so well at the moment, by issuing our own money. Brutus, please, I'll take questions later. Now, this financial system will remove the burden of taxes from the citizens of Rome. We shall pay off the moneylenders and be free to spend all future taxation for the benefit of the people, and not simply on interest to the likes of Flavius. Cato, not you as well. Sit down, all of you. Now, the removal of public debt. Will the rest of you please retake your places? I've only just started. Why have you all brought knives and daggers? You all know the rules. No sharp objects in the forum. You'll have someone's eye out with those.
Thank you, everyone. Always good doing business with such noble men.
Is that what happened?
You saw it yourself. Caesar was popular with the people as he used debt-free money to initiate a building program in Rome. Building projects create jobs. Jobs give people money in their hands, and under Julius, no debt. But if that trick was realized, who would borrow money?
But that happens all the time. Has anyone else ever had the same idea?
Strange you should ask, young Chloe. Strange you should ask. Our next stop, 30 AD.
Gosh, it's hot. Where are we?
Oh, Jerusalem.
If I'd known, I'd have brought my sunglasses.
You'd stand out too much.
Yes, well, these gowns will never catch on in North London.
They'll do for what we need.
What are we looking for this time?
That temple. Oh, and that fellow over there.
Who is it?
Now, the thing to remember, Chloe, is that here there is a temple tax.
You mean like putting money in the plate?
Not quite. You see, people have had their money removed from them from the very beginning.
Why am I not surprised?
Now, look. Those that attended the temple could only pay with a special coin called the half shekel, a half ounce of pure silver. Now, you know what an American quarter looks like.
Seen them on television.
That's the size of them, but the money changers have cornered the market.
Typical.
So, to buy your shekel, the people had to hand over their own money.
Is this what they call good work if you can get it?
Subsequently, the money changers could abuse their power.
Sounds like extortion.
Anyone with a monopoly on anything can exploit that advantage.
So, who is the guy you pointed out?
You have turned my father's house into a den of thieves. You have violated the sanctity of God's house.
The only time he was ever reported as being violent.
But didn't he get arrested?
Pontius Pilate, the Roman governor at the time, couldn't find any problem with him. So, like any good politician on the make, he asked the people for their opinion.
So, do I release a man without a blemish on his character, or Barabbas, a known criminal?
Barabbas!
Asking the people is always a dangerous thing to do. All right, here they go.
So Jesus was killed by the money changers?
He wasn't the first. And he wasn't the last.
But that's not how it's told to people.
There are a great many things not told to people. Not telling people things is how you keep them in ignorance. Historical dates, but not the reasons behind the dates.
I see. So where next on this flying four-poster?
During medieval times in England, the money changers became known as goldsmiths. Paper became money as a receipt for depositing gold, for the goldsmith to look after, in a room or a vault, shall we say. The paper was just easier to carry around than lumps of shiny, heavy metal. Over time, those receipts were made out to the bearer, instead of the description of the actual stuff in the vaults. With time, The connection in people's minds was lost, as people traded in paper. If you don't believe me, simply look at a £5 note and read what's printed there. Promise to pay the bearer. The truth, Chloe, is that you've never had £5 in your life, but you've promised to pay £5 many times.
But that's corrupt. It's a con trick.
So much of life is. The real trick, Chloe, is to understand it and use it for your own benefit. Hold on. Now, here's the interesting part. Over time, the goldsmiths came to realize that only a small portion of those that deposited gold with them ever wanted their money back at the same time.
So
they simply lent out more paper receipts than they had gold to back them. No one was then any the wiser. Oh, this trick is called fractional reserve banking.
I don't understand.
Lending people, at interest, paper gold that was never real allowed the goldsmiths to make enormous profits.
I still don't get it.
All right. Let's say a bank, for example, gave you 10% interest on, say, £100. Follow me?
Right.
So, you get back £110 back. With me?
I'm following you.
But the bank lends out your £100 10 times over at the same 10%. You get back £10, they get back £100. In essence, your £100 on deposit
It's worth £1,000 to them.
from which they then demand interest from those that borrowed the money. Money they never had in the first place.
That's outrageous. They'd never get away with it.
Oh, they've been getting away with it since the time of Julius Caesar. And it gets worse. By increasing or decreasing the amount of money in circulation, the banks, goldsmiths, could create booms or recessions at a time of their choosing.
But why?
Because when people cannot pay their debts, Chloe, their assets, usually their homes, fall back to the very banks that lent them the paper money in the first place. They then play the whole trick all over again. Remember, banks only make money when they make loans that have to be repaid at interest. The more they lend out, the more money they will invariably make. Here we are, the 1100s.
A forest?
Nice here, isn't it?
I'm more of a city girl myself.
Yes, I noticed that.
Why are we here? What are we looking for?
A bit of wood. Ah, this'll do.
A stick?
A stick, with notches in it. You see, money is only what people agree it is. So during the time of King Henry I, that's now, by the way, they had the tally stick system of money, a piece of polished wood.
With notches in?
You've got the idea. The notches indicate a certain value that the king spent into the economy, which was split lengthways, and Henry kept half the stick to hold against counterfeiting.
Old wood for money?
True, it's usually old rope, but you've got the idea.
If the money changers couldn't produce their own money, then the power laid with the king.
Spot on.
Must have made the king powerful enemies.
What are you doing in our forest?
Just leaving. I think we outstayed our welcome. Hold on, Chloe. I'm going to show you a historical figure you'll know immediately. But don't tell him you're single.
That I'm single?
Yeah, don't lose your head over this fellow.
More wine, I say, and 4 more pies. Cromie! Where's Cromie, I say?
I'm here, Your Majesty. Oh, and it's Cromwell, Your Majesty.
Yeah, whatever. You'll always be Cromie to me.
Or you could use Thomas.
Which of us is appointed by God again?
Cromie it is, then.
Look, good work on the pies and all that, but the problem, Thomas, is that I'm starting to run out of the readies. Any thoughts on this one?
The issue, boss, is this. That St. Thomas Aquinas fellow.
Oh, another foreigner. They're everywhere, you know.
Well, they are if you go abroad, Your Majesty.
What is wrong with this fellow? He's a good Catholic, isn't he?
Much like yourself, sir. But Aquinas presents us with quite a conundrum, you see.
Oh. Explain.
Well, it was Aquinas who taught people that it was contrary to reason and justice, those sorts of things, to lend out money at interest. Church law, you see, has made it a crime and called it usury.
Oh, that is inconvenient, isn't it?
Only I may have a potential solution to this problem, your match.
Oh, speak forth, Thomas. I wait with bated breath.
Well, break with Rome, set up your own church, make yourself head of it, start borrowing money, and let the good times roll.
Brilliant, Thomas.
Thank you, sire.
Yeah, but don't ever call me your Madge again.
No, sire.
I think I'll have an extra pie. After all, we can certainly afford it now. Oh, you have one too, Thomas.
Thank you, your majesty.
Is that true?
Yeah, he loved pies.
No, the other bit.
You didn't really believe it was just so Henry VIII could get a younger model, did you?
It's what it says in the history books.
I rest my case.
So Henry VIII just needed the money?
Don't we all?
Wait a minute. Didn't Queen Mary, after him, try to realign with Rome?
Yes.
How did that go down?
Like a cup of sick.
So, it is our wish to rejoin the one true church and tighten all those usury laws.
Got any spare money?
Not now, I haven't.
I heard that.
The money changers called in all their old loans and stopped issuing new ones. Hence,
A recession?
needless to say, her popularity did not last long. Anyway, after Mary, we get Elizabeth I. Now, she did the same trick as JC.
We shall issue our own gold and silver coins. Oh, and I'm now married to England. Oh yes, that's good PR. Where's Dudley?
It's in the West Midlands, Your Majesty.
Not that Dudley.
By issuing her own coins, she took control of the money supply, and England prospered. Some still call it the Golden Age. And once she got hold of the shiny stuff, you know why.
Must have been good.
It was, so it couldn't be allowed to last. And it wasn't. Here, take the wheel, now. Turn left.
Whoa! What was that?
1609. The first central bank ever in the Netherlands. Started in Amsterdam. A dark moment in history. 1642. Pull in over there. By the man in the big hat.
Why am I dressed as a 17th century squire? Why not a lady?
This is an army camp, Chloe. Dress you as a lady and they might think you're something else.
Where are we going?
I want to listen to those guys on horseback. There's going to be a battle. This is Naseby, the most important battle of the English Civil War.
Who is it? Looks a bit regal.
Charles I.
I believe that God is in the breast of all stout-hearted Englishmen, and with our trusty blades and courage we shall undoubtedly win the day. What say you to that, Master Oliver Cromwell?
Yes, whatever. With all that due respect thing, you may have God on your side, but I've got the bankers on mine. Guess which army is better financed, better trained, and has the better equipment? You knew what would happen when you started minting your own coins. Throw in the towel now, Charlie boy, and let's end this foolishness.
Ah, dash and blast for your impotence.
Yeah, well, I'm seeing the camp doctor straight after the battle about that.
Ah, I'd rather lose my head than give up the crown of England to the likes of you.
Yeah, okay then, have it your way. Fire!